Texas Rangers and the Blue Jays for the first of four. As you can see, the Rangers just a game behind the Blue Jays right now. There's your starting pitching matchup. You know about Gausman, a talented lefty, Mackenzie Gore. They picked him up at a deal from Washington in the offseason. He's on the mound for the Rangers tonight. Their first-year manager, Skip Schumacher, former manager of the Marlins, actually the National League Manager of the Year back in 2023. Corey Seager just came off the concussion IL today. And look at those numbers that he has in his career against the Blue Jays. That makes this lineup look a little bit different. They're a lot different. The Rangers, like the Blue Jays, have struggled offensively this year. Kevin Gausman had a very good outing against them last year down in Arlington. We'll see how he does tonight.
A good opportunity for Kevin to get back locked in. His ERA went from 3.41 up over 4 in that last start at Wrigley Field. He allowed 7 runs in just 2 innings of work, 4 walks in that first inning, and right from the first pitch, the first batter, Pete Crow-Armstrong, he just did not look right, not commanding any of his pitches. The Cubs batted around. The velocity was down a little bit as well, but now hopefully back home, rested, and back in sync against the Rangers here tonight. Defensively for the Blue Jays behind Gausman, Davis Schneider gets back-to-back starts. He's in left field tonight against the lefty starter. Straw in center. Nathan Lucas is the only left-handed bat in John Schneider's lineup. Okamoto and Clement on the left side. Luis Urias at second base. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at first. And Alejandro Kirk will be pushing the buttons on the pitch comm for Kevin Gausman tonight.
A half-open Rogers Center here tonight. But if we're looking at the glass is half full, then the roof is half open. It's not half closed.
That means there's a little bit of rain maybe
there
around.
There might be something close enough that they want to be able to close it quickly if they can. Here's Jock Peterson DHing and leading off for the Rangers tonight. And a fastball comes in low for ball 1. Peterson has had a lot of experience against Gausman. Gausman has held the upper hand. 2 for 17. One of the 2 hits a homer. 7 strikeouts. You saw the numbers on Peterson putting together a pretty good season. OPS almost 800 after a terrible season a year ago. But whatever was wrong, he has righted it, and he is always a threat to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Interesting in that leadoff spot. Another power threat up top.
Looks at a fastball in there, 1-2. Gausman on an extra day of rest. That rain out in Chicago on Sunday gave everybody an extra day this time around. And the fastball fouled off. And did that get Kirk in the shoulder, perhaps?
Sounded like the mask, but maybe he got a little bit of both.
Oh, yeah. You're right, mask.
These catchers nowadays, it happens so often, they just kind of blow it off like it's nothing.
1-2 again. And a splitter sent foul left side.
You think it's happening more than ever before, foul tips into catchers, or are we just noticing it now at this point in our lives where we're in a broadcast booth? Because
I mean, you talk about how the way that catchers set up now, they're more exposed in their lower half a little bit, but it does seem like it happens a lot. Fastball that's fouled back, and that was kind of a late swing there by Peterson. He must have been thinking, I'm going to get another split here.
You have to guard against the splitter with Kevin, but this is interesting too with Kevin. Oftentimes he'll come out fastball heavy, and he's kind of making a statement here because that will certainly set up that splitter, and then second to third time through the order he can deviate.
Good splitter down, but again, Peterson gets a piece of it, and he is making Gausman work here in the very first at-bat of the ballgame. He's not your prototypical leadoff hitter, but he's doing the job right now for the Rangers as Dylan Cease, Cody Ponce, and others look on from the dugout. Fastball just low, and it's 2-2.
Well, it's a couple fastballs just below the bottom of the zone, not quite getting the call from Roberto Ortiz behind the plate.
And another one fouled back. This is the kind of at bat, even if he makes it out of the next pitch, the guys in the Texas dugout will say, good job, that's a win.
Well, you're trying to expand that pitch count early on. Kevin is going with the heaters for sure, but you can see he's changing the location from down to up as well.
Fouls off another pitch. That is number 10. That was the first slider he has seen, and that's probably got Pete Walker already a little bit stressed even this early in the game.
And that could just be a little show me pitch to set up the next one. I don't think this will be a slider.
And it's drilled to deep right field. Peterson hits it out. On the 11th pitch of the at-bat, he homers, and the Rangers lead 1-0.
Fastball on the inside corner, and that slider, the previous pitch, didn't do anything to set up that fastball. Peterson was all over it.
His second leadoff home run this season. Of all the fastballs he saw in that at bat, too, that was the hardest one thrown by Gausman. Better than 95 miles an hour. But not only did he get to it, he pulled it hard down the line. And he knew it. He's hit enough home runs to know what they feel like. Now Wyatt Langford, and a challenge coming very early here in this one from Alejandro Kirk. This closer look is brought to you by Specsavers. You don't like to use them early unless you're pretty sure, and Kirk evidently was pretty sure. Langford, the fourth overall pick in 2023, a very talented young player, but a guy who's already had a lot of injuries at a young age, a kind of an alarming number of injuries. Had a quad injury earlier this year as Gausman gets out in front 0-2, but this is a guy they hope they can really build around over the next several years. 22
home runs last year, certainly some power in that bat, but I think Kevin's going to do just that against this young player. Stay out there away. So many young players love the ball middle in.
Tried another slider, misses down and away. The offensive numbers for the Rangers as a team very similar in a number of areas to the numbers the Blue Jays have put up. Both teams struggling offensively this year. Good splitter, out number 1.
Well, we'll definitely see that splitter tonight, and that's one of the better ones we will see, diving down and in under the bat of Langford.
Strikeouts are brought to you by Subway. Get 25% off any footlong on game days. Order in the Subway app using the code STRIKEOUT. So that's out number 1, and here is Corey Seager, as mentioned, just off the concussion IL. He went around, and it's 0-1. And he was out earlier in the year as well with the back spasms. A guy who in his time in Texas has really had trouble staying healthy. And as you can see from the numbers, those are not very Seager-ish kind of numbers right now. This guy is a great offensive player. As he tops one up the first baseline, Gausman has it, will flip to Guerrero in time for the second out. Skip Schumacher excited to get Seager back. It sets them up defensively a little bit better. Two guys can go back to their regular roles, but you know, just like you don't expect to see Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with 4 homers, you don't expect to see Corey Seager hitting 186.
He's just 32 years old, signed that big contract with the Rangers, so they're certainly hoping there's more in there.
2 down, and here's the former Met, Brandon Nimmo. Picked up in a deal in the offseason. This to center field, and coming in is Straw to make the catch. A run in on the Peterson home run. It's 1-0 Rangers. first, and a look at the Blue Jay lineup tonight as George Springer once again will DH and lead off. He's a lefty on the mound for the Texas Rangers, so there are 8 right-handed bats in the lineup for the Blue Jays. The lone lefty is one of the hottest hitters in baseball in Nathan Lucas. Look at those numbers. Ernie Clement is up in the 2 spot tonight. Good enough to play. Again, they're monitoring that hip situation, but he's in the lineup, bottom third of the order. Schneider, Straw, Urias. The lefty we spoke of is Mackenzie Gore.
Mackenzie Gore is still just 27 years old in his 5th year in the big leagues. Pitched for San Diego, Washington, and in his first year now with the Rangers after being acquired in a trade. That ERA just up over 4 in his 16 starts. Walks can be an issue. That'll be something for the Blue Jays hitters to force him into the zone tonight. But he's also got strikeout stuff. He did walk a couple, but struck out 6 Padres in his last game, allowing just 1 run over 6 innings.
George Springer hit a home run off Mackenzie Gore last year when Gore was still with the Nationals. Springer at .223, 8 home runs. The Rangers as a team have given up more runs in the first inning than any other team in baseball this year. We'll see if the Blue Jays can keep that trend going, but a good fastball puts Gore out in front 0-2.
He'll average up over 95 with that 4-seam fastball. And against these righties, he'll use them all. 4-seamer, curveball, changeup is his excellent pitch, along with a cutter.
Got the fastball in on the hands of Springer. He's a guy, when you watch him, if you don't know who he is and you don't know the numbers, you watch him and you go, wow, this is a really good guy. The numbers, in my estimation anyways, don't kind of stack up to what you see when you watch it.
Very fair.
This is a good arm. They traded 5 minor leaguers together.
And originally in the Juan Soto trade, right?
Yes.
San Diego.
Yeah. The one Texas starter the Blue Jays will avoid in this 4-game series is Jacob deGrom. And that's just fine. And that's the cutter you spoke of, down and in to get Springer 1 down.
He will run that cutter up and in. That one was a little more down and in, but such a good pitch with just a little cut to that fastball. Different than the 4-seamer, almost a hard mini slider.
So here is Ernie Clement, and today a very big day in the life of Ernie Clement. Another honor bestowed upon him. The phase 1 of All-Star balloting closed today, and Clement got more votes than anybody in the American League. And when that happens, that means you're an automatic starter. So Ernie Clement will start the All-Star game at second base for the American League. Shohei Ohtani got the most votes in the National League and the most overall. He had a bit more than Ernie did, so Ohtani will start for the National League. But Ernie spent some time with the media talking about it before. Hazel's got much more on that in the 2nd inning, and then we'll follow up a little bit later on. But as you can imagine, Ernie is humbled and honored at what is going on in his baseball life right now.
Absolutely.
And he lines it up the middle for a base hit.
Ernie loves a fastball, and he got the sinker up and out over the plate. Lines it right back up the middle. That is what he does best, jumping all over that heater.
John Schneider didn't start him last night, knowing he would want him tonight against Mackenzie Gore. And again, Ernie's not 100%. He wants to play every day, but the left hip a bit of an issue right now. Here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Caleb and I talked last night about Vladdy's BP yesterday. It was very much finesse it to right, serve it to right. Today was a different story. You and I were down on the field watching his BP, and Vladdy was getting after it in batting practice as he takes down and in. Ball 2. He seemed pleased with the results, and it was a day, and this doesn't always happen, where on the scoreboard during BP you saw launch angle, exit velocity, and distance. And I wonder if that was not an accident today. Maybe one of the hitting coaches said, let's show him some numbers. Whoa. Foul off as the bat goes flying, and it's 2-1.
Well, things are not going to change until he gets that body right in the batter's box. And when we've seen him at his best He has a very aggressive move to the ball. I think right now it's a little bit more passive. That leaves you a little bit more upright, and then you're starting to come across the ball, and you lose that connection with that shoulder turn. It becomes more of a slap. You're slapping at the ball more than being connected.
Got a breaking ball, a curveball there that he fouls back 2-2. He has had some success against Gore, 4 for 8, a double and a homer. Maybe that gives him a little bit more confidence as he steps in. Clement at first, 1 out. And the 2-2 is grounded up the middle. There's one, and on to first, the double play. So a 1-out single by Clement, and that is it. 1-0 Rangers at the end of an inning.
Off to his very first All-Star game as the starting second baseman for the American League. As Dan mentioned, Clement earns an automatic bid for being the top vote getter in the American League with just over 3.2 million votes in Phase 1 voting. Well, the Blue Jays honored Mr. Clement in between innings, and he was greeted with a huge ovation. He said he credits his success in his career to staying true to himself and never giving up. He said, "I was DFA'd twice, been released and optioned more times than I can count. The front office has given me an amazing opportunity, and the least I can do is play well and pay it back." Clement finished over 108,000 votes behind Shohei Ohtani for the most in the big leagues. And when I asked him how he's processing that news, Dan, he joked that it was tough to come in second to the Dodgers once again. Guys.
And as you can imagine, that got a hearty laugh out of those gathered around Ernie. As Gausman starts the top of the second with a strike at the knees to Jake Berger, the first baseman for the Rangers. Ernie several times thanked Canadians and Blue Jays fans everywhere. Everybody understands that the size and power and passion of the Blue Jays fan base had a lot to do with this. Good split, and it's 0-2. And again, on merit, he deserves to be there, but to have the most votes in the entire league, meaning you are guaranteed as a starter, you don't have to go into that Phase 2 kind of two-man runoff for voting. That's where Ernie is at right now. It's been quite a year with the 30 hits in October, Team USA, WBC, and now going to the All-Star game and as a starter.
Ernie is a grateful young man. Listening to him talk today, he absolutely loves this game, and he knows where he came from, and it has not always been easy. And he's always believed in himself, and has it ever paid off?
He talked about how glad he'll be. He figures he'll have a number of his teammates there. And I think he's right. I think Louis Varland is going to be there. I think Dylan Cease has an excellent chance to get there. Of course, John Schneider and the coaching staff will be there because the Blue Jays were in the World Series last year. That's how it works. You manage in the All-Star game the next year. And then again, because of the size and passion of the fan base, a number of other Blue Jays are either first or second, meaning that they are in that runoff for the starting spot. And that's a guy to keep an eye on. Kazuma Okamoto. It's Okamoto or Junior Caminero. Those are the two finalists to start. They got the most fan votes, and Caminero's got good numbers. So does Okamoto, but Okamoto's got the Blue Jay fan base behind him, and everybody in Japan, all the baseball fans in Japan behind him. So
keep voting.
Yeah, I would imagine. There's a slider just missing 3-2. I would think there is an excellent chance that Kaz Okamoto is going to start the All-Star game. Three-two pitch. Topped foul back of the plate. Berger, a hot hitter, hitting .360 over his last 15 games, and he is the Texas leader in home runs and RBIs. Got him. Strikeout number 2 on the night for Gausman.
He laid off a couple of splitters earlier in that at bat. Thought maybe he was picking it up really well. This one kind of dives down and in again. A bit more of that horizontal movement. But Kevin will take it.
So 4 in a row set down since the leadoff home run by Jock Peterson. And here is Ezekiel Duran, a very versatile player who's at third base tonight for the Rangers. Fastball for a called strike. Duran has started at 6 different positions. Has played a lot of second. When Seager was on the IL, he moved to short. Seager's back. Now he's at third. A fly ball to left field takes Schneider back a ways, but he's got room. 2 down.
Well, that's the ideal slider right there from Kevin Gausman. That's what he wants to do with that pitch. Get it down, get it a little away from these right-handed batters, and get it towards the end of his barrel. And that's a mission accomplished right there. See the target from Kirk out there? That's a pretty good spot, usually safe.
So 2 down, and here's the left fielder now, Alejandro Osuna, hitting .261 on the season. The Rangers have a number of injuries like the Blue Jays have had this year. One of them is Evan Carter, who would be their center fielder. Langford would be in left if everybody were healthy. One of them is Danny Jansen, who I did not see. We did not see before the game, but we understand that the guy known as Jano was in the ballpark. He's on the IL with a forearm injury right now, and he could very well be sitting in the visiting clubhouse and listening to this right now. So, Jano, if you are here, we will find you tomorrow. One of the good guys.
Absolutely. Danny's putting together a nice career. Signed a 2-year deal, I believe, with the Rangers.
Seager just came off the IL. Jack Leiter, young starting pitcher. Al's son on the IL. That's a fair ball. And Osuna's going to make the turn. Think about second, and now he's in trouble. Clement to Guerrero. Back to Clement. He'll put the tag on him, and that'll be that. Osuna got caught in between. Gausman thanking his fielders. And what looked like a base hit, maybe 2, turns into the 3rd out here in the top of the 2nd. Lucas got it started. Clement and Guerrero took care of the rest. Well, here's another promotion you won't want to miss. Be one of the first 15,000 fans in the ballpark July 20th, and you can take home a Kazuma Okamoto t-shirt. It is the perfect way to celebrate the Blue Jays' newest slugger. Get your tickets now at bluejays.com/promotions. And wouldn't you know it, here he is to lead off the bottom of the 2nd. It's funny how that works.
Great timing. Very good producing.
Yeah, in the business we call that good producing. 17 home runs, 49 RBIs to lead the club as he taps a curveball foul. After Okamoto, Kirk and Lucas. That's the changeup there from Gore, but a miss well off the outside part of the plate. Very good numbers in June. Hitting for average, hitting for power, knocking in some big runs too in some games for this Blue Jays team. Swings through a fastball, 1-2. That was 96 there from Gore.
Oh, and we know Okamoto can handle the velocity. He's done it on numerous occasions, and now you wonder if that pitch is going to set up the softer one, perhaps the changeup from Gore.
Fastball up and in, 2-2.
This is not a crafty lefty.
This is a power arm.
Yeah.
Curveball pulled foul. It's tough. You can see 96 up at the letters. You can see a changeup down and away. You can see a curveball down at the knees, maybe even below that. It's a big arm, and it's a change your eye level kind of guy too.
Absolutely. And especially when you have that velocity at the top of the zone, that's an equalizer.
Staying alive. First meeting between these two teams this year. The Blue Jays will be down in Arlington right near the end of the season, second to last week of the regular season. Hard hit ball gobbled up at third by Duran, and he throws him out. What a good play by Ezekiel Duran down at the hot corner.
Well, he certainly has that arm at the hot corner. Once he came up with the baseball, he had one thing to do. Goes to his backhand, no panic whatsoever, gets a grip of that thing. When you've got an arm you can trust like that, you can take a little time, and he threw a strike over to first base.
A little red star on that one for the first out here in the bottom of the second. And here's Alejandro Kirk, who after coming off the IL, Joe, had a very good first game. 3 for 3 with a walk, 2 singles and a double. As you see the defensive numbers on Duran. But Kirk is now just 1 for his last 22. Called strike, says Roberto Ortiz, and it's 0-2. And in the search for more offense for this team, obviously you'd love to see Guerrero get going, but this is one of the most important bats they have as well.
He sure is. Remember, coming out of spring training, we talked about this Blue Jays offense, and for them to kind of repeat or try to be a solid offense again, we talked about the top. Springer, Kirk, these guys have to do that again, put together seasons like they have. And the injury occurred, of course. Been a bit of a slow go for Kirk.
And another ground ball to third. Much more routine for Duran. 2 down. Couple of ground outs here in the bottom of the second, and now it'll be the only left-handed batter in the lineup for the Blue Jays tonight. Gore will face Nathan Lucas. Hit a home run last night for the only run the Blue Jays had in that game. He is having a terrific season. You can see hitting just over 300, OPS of 764. And also, and this is not a surprise, playing very, very good defense. The eye test shows it. The numbers show it too. 5 defensive runs saved. And that's only in about half a season, right? He was on the IL for a while. Another ground ball. Berger to Gore. 3 ground ball outs here in the bottom of the second. It is still 1-0 Texas. The late innings last night, but then the Astros took the lead. You may remember, I'm sure you do remember, Joey Loperfido with third, 1 out, and the Blue Jays put a pickoff play on, but the throw goes down the left field line. John Schneider was asked about it after the game, obviously, and said there was some miscommunication there on the part, Schneider said, of Kaz Okamoto. Jeff Hoffman is the one who threw it down the line. But people should understand, so the play was on, and Hoffman's job is to throw to third. According to Schneider, Okamoto thought that it was going to be a pitch into Kirk, and then Kirk, after the pitch, was going to try to pick off Loperfido down at third base. That was the miscommunication. We know it is a PitchCom call. We don't know exactly what everybody hears, but it was on PitchCom. But there are other layers to this that maybe people don't understand. As soon as Hoffman lifts up his leg and looks to third, if he just stops and doesn't throw the ball, it's a balk, and Loperfido scores. If he throws the ball to Okamoto, but Okamoto's not moving towards the bag, it's a balk, and Loperfido scores. As Kyle Higashioka pops one up, Okamoto won't have a play up in the netting. So really, they were doomed as soon as the play kind of got going. And again, I'm sure they have talked about it in the aftermath of last night, but according to Schneider, there was just some miscommunication on the PitchCom about exactly when and from whom the throw was going to third.
And who knows what the exact wording was. Did it just say pick off to third base? Did it say pitcher to third, catcher to third? Who knows what it said? Only the guys down on the field know, but this is the difference in the game now when you're using pitch comm. So before pitch comm, that pickoff would be put on probably by the catcher or the pitcher. They make eye contact. One guy grabs his belt buckle, the other guy grabs his hat, whatever the case may be, and they've got something going. As a catcher, sometimes I pick up dirt and I'll throw it in the direction of my third baseman. He'll do something back to reciprocate.
Higashioka hits one pretty well to center field, but Straw's got room.
But clearly this was a miscommunication in the wording, and I'm sure that that wording now has been corrected. If it said pick off third base, well, if I'm a third baseman, where's it coming from?
Right.
So that's where the miscommunication could be. I don't know what the words were.
Right.
We haven't heard that.
And fair to say it's more common for the pitch to come in and the catcher to throw to third than the pitcher trying to pick off a runner with third is more of an unusual call.
We've seen them practice it. We've seen it in spring training and the autocation here early in the afternoon. It's practiced. We don't see it in games very often at all. Maybe once or twice a year, but this is one time that they felt maybe they catch the runner on third who's going to be going on contact, probably getting that initial lead when the pitcher lifts his leg. But at the same time, Hoffman just gave up the hit, and you probably want to try to get him to get out of his own mess.
Couple of strikes on Nicky Lopez. It's one of those plays that if it works, it looks fantastic.
Of course.
But if it backfires, like there's no middle ground on something like that.
But the verbiage has to be corrected because whatever it was, there was a miscommunication. And I'm sure that was done immediately.
Lined over a leaping Clement and into left center. A base hit for Lopez.
Now we also learned today, Dan, that the pitch comm comes in different languages as well. So for the Spanish players, it can be in Spanish. This one just up and over the All-Stars glove.
1 on, 1 out, 1-0 Rangers top 3, and here's Jock Peterson, who saw 11 pitches from Kevin Gausman to begin the ball game and homered on the 11th and final pitch. And it is the longest leadoff at bat to end in a home run in over 4 years in the major leagues. He just kept fouling them off. And eventually got one in a spot that he liked and turned it around, hit it out hard to right.
And it was by design. Like Alejandro Kirk was set up inside. They were trying to elevate a fastball inside on Peterson. Just didn't get it up. But it was in. But he hit it like he looked like he was looking for it.
His 230th career home run. This is Peterson's 13th year in the big leagues. A lot of time with the Dodgers in the earlier part of his career. He's been with the Cubs, the Braves, the Giants, the Diamondbacks, and now in his second year with Arizona. 1 year with the Dodgers, hit 36 home runs back in 2019. And he lines it to left, a base hit. So 2 solid line drives here for the Rangers. And they've got runners at first and second with 1 out.
Looks like you wanted to elevate this ball, and you didn't elevate it as much as just get it out there and away. But that's right into the swing path of Peterson, lining it into left.
4 hits now for the Rangers. And here's Wyatt Langford. Langford struck out swinging in the first. Chased it, and it's 0-1. Third year in the big leagues for Langford, 24 years of age. And a high fly ball hit a long way left center field and gone. A couple of rows in for a 3-run homer. And it is 4-0 for the Rangers.
Well, the singles are one thing, but once you get men on base, you get some dangerous hitters to the plate with power, and Wyatt Langford hit this slider And it was a no-doubter. We watched Miles Straw in center and Davis Schneider just watch it go. And here's that slider that's just spinning right over the middle part of the plate at the bottom of the zone. I don't love the pitch. I think Kevin would tell you it's his third best pitch. When he throws that slider, he's got to find a way to make sure it's in the left-handed batter's box. It can't be in the strike zone. And it keeps happening.
That is the 5th home run he's given up on a slider this year, and it is his 3rd most used pitch by a wide margin behind the fastball and the splitter.
I call him a 2-pitch pitcher.
Right.
And when people ask, I said he's a 2-pitch pitcher, forcing fastball and splitter, and he'll mix a slider in once in a while. But for some reason now it's becoming a bit more commonplace in his repertoire.
And he threw 2 to Langford. He got a swing and a miss on the first, came back with it, and the second one over the middle of the plate. When he puts it where he wants to, he has success with it, but he doesn't get away with a lot of mistakes with the slider. And the Blue Jays in an early deficit, 4-0 here in the 3rd. A strike to Corey Seager. It's 3-1. Taken low, ball 4. One more look at the Langford home run.
You see him out front a little bit, but when that barrel comes through the bottom of the zone, that is a no-doubter. Oh, a little Rangers fan.
Good. That's nice. Good sportsmanship right there. Langford, his 8th on the season. And now ball 1 low to Brandon Nimmo. We mentioned Nimmo came over from the Mets in the offseason for Marcus Semien, who incidentally went on the IL today. And the Mets are coming to town. They'll be here Monday, Tuesday, and next Wednesday, which is Canada Day. Bo Bichette's coming back to town. Juan Soto may or may not be. Soto's dealing with a hamstring issue, trying to stay off the IL. Boy, has it been a tough year for the Mets. Another fastball for a strike. Nimmo's been a good player for a long time. His career OPS plus is 124. That means in his career he has been 24% better than average in terms of OPS, taking into account the ballparks you play in and so on. Met his entire career until this year. Gausman gets it with a splitter there for out number 2.
Big OPS and big on base guy.
Yep.
Gives you a really tough AB.
3rd strikeout for Gausman, but no doubt he's got that home run on his mind. A couple of base hits and then the 3-run homer by Langford. Seager's still at first, 2 down. Here's Jake Berger, who struck out in his first at bat. Another high fly ball deep left field. Schneider back at the wall, and this one is gone. A 2-run home run for Berger. It is 6-0.
Well, certainly some pop in this Rangers lineup, especially if you leave pitches in tough spots. And this splitter was left dead central, right in the middle of the zone.
And the Rangers are not missing the ones over the heart of the plate here tonight. Again, a team that has struggled offensively as much as the Blue Jays have this year, but not looking the part here tonight. 3 home runs already in this game. The batter, Ezekiel Duran, who made that great play in third last half inning. And I know we say this a lot, but it's a night, too, where the Blue Jays could really use a lot of length out of their starter. Now, they want to win the game first and foremost, and they're down 6 right now. But you also need as much as you can out of Gausman. At least 3 relievers are down. As he strikes out Duran, that'll end the top of the third, but not before the Rangers hit 2 more homers and take a 6-run lead. Folks, time is running out to be eligible for all prizes during Jays Care Canada Day 50-50 jackpot. Win a golf trip to Nova Scotia, see polar bears in Hudson Bay. Plus, on Canada Day, you can take home the grand prize, expected to surpass $1.5 million. Join now at BlueJays.com/5050 from participating provinces. 6-0 Texas. Bottom of the third, Davis Schneider leads it off. Schneider playing left, batting 7th. Miles Straw, Luis Urias coming up behind him. Takes one in the dirt, a ball and a strike. Schneider came back for the minors and has been very productive until yesterday. Went 0 for 3 in last night's game. A tough one for Kevin Gausman. A very tough start for the 2nd outing in a row. 2 innings, 7 runs in Chicago against the Cubs 6 days ago. 3 innings, 6 runs here tonight.
In that start against the Cubs, he was certainly battling the zone. 4 walks in the first inning, but of course the long ball got him there too. And in this one, they're hitting everything he's putting in the zone. A couple of hard singles before the 3-run homer.
Started to talk a little bit about the starting pitching for the Blue Jays entering this game tonight. In their last 5 games, so once around in the rotation, the starters had gone a total of 20 1/3 innings. So obviously just about 4 innings per start. Swing and a miss and a high fastball for out number 1. And that tells you 2 things. One is they're not doing well enough to get deeper into the game, so the Blue Jays are trailing more often than they are leading and having to play comeback baseball. And then obviously with something that's been a big topic of conversation all season long, it's just an incredibly heavy workload for the bullpen.
And you're looking at the top of the rotation guys to kind of lead the way and carry you, and it just has not been the case with the struggles of Gausman. Trey Savage trying to get back on track. Dylan Cease has had his issues at times.
With a lefty on the mound, Miles Straw getting a start in center field tonight. Dalton Varsho not in the starting lineup. Straw had a single and a double off Gore last year when Gore was with the Nationals and faced the Blue Jays. Grounds one out to short. Backhanded by Seager, 2 down.
Get ready for epic action on the big screen this summer with Supergirl, starring Millie Alcock and Jason Momoa, in theaters June 26th.
Opening game of a 4-game series against a team just a game behind them in the standings, so the Rangers have the early 6-0 lead. Dan Schulman, Joe Siddall, Hazel May, and Luis Urias in his 3rd game as a Blue Jay. Made a very favorable impression in his first one Tuesday night. Went 2 for 5 with a 2-run homer, but not as favorable an impression last night with the base running mistake between 2nd and 3rd when he was out there representing the tying run and George Springer hit that ball to deep right. Incredible catch by Cam Smith, and Urias went too far, put his head down and got doubled off second. And it's a 1-2-3, bottom of the 3rd. Gore cruising along. So we talked last half inning a little bit about the starting pitching for the Blue Jays, and what has often been a strength of this team the last couple of years and has been at times earlier this season. Joe, not in the month of June, second to last in ERA.
And how many times we keep talking about treading water till the injured players get back. Well, we're beyond that now, and they need to start getting on some kind of a roll, but you need your big guys to do that. And the frustrations tonight with Kevin Gausman in back-to-back starts now continue.
Top of the fourth underway, and a strike taken by Alejandro Osuna. Who had a base hit in the second inning and then was thrown out. He got caught between first and second, eventually got in a rundown and got tagged out.
And I think the discussion with the starters and the relievers are almost two different discussions. You need your starters to pave the way and give you a chance every day they step on the rubber. The bullpen guys, for me, it's a little combination of, sure, it's the starters, but the offense has to score more runs. So these guys like Tyler Rogers don't have to pitch every night. Can't use your high leverage guys all the time. And we've seen John sit guys. They've had to rest guys. They can't just keep running them into the ground because they're in close games, because they're not scoring a ton of runs.
There have been days where Varland's been down, days where Fluharty has been down.
And if you have an offense that's scoring or averaging 5 runs a game, you can have a couple of laughers in there, but that's just not happening.
Sometimes the decision-making process is a lot more complicated than it may seem if you're not in that dugout, if you're not in that office. Sometimes there aren't as many choices available to him as people think there are. And then sometimes, ultimately, you need the players to just go out and perform to their capabilities.
There's so many relievers that I'm sure would love to on certain days say, I can go, but they've got to look out for their best interest too. And of course, it's a long season. You always hear managers talk about playing the long game. You want these guys, your high leverage relievers, you want them good in August and September as well.
Today's game number 81. This is the midway point of the season at the conclusion of the game tonight. And again, and it's somewhat remarkable, really, and it speaks to the fact that the American League as a whole is not very good this year. The biggest break this team has had, in my opinion, is the American League is not very good this year.
In a playoff spot.
They are in a playoff spot tonight, despite being 2 games under 500. Now to second, picked by Urias. But that's not going to last. If they're 2 games under 500 6 weeks from now, they are not going to be in a playoff spot. They've got to start winning more games.
Yeah, we've had this conversation about the American League not being very good, and you're still in a playoff spot. I think as we keep moving on into July and August, the better teams will creep up and the other ones will fall behind. You just want to be one of those that gets things going. And until guys like that get going with the bat and the pitching staff gets going, starters especially, it's going to be hard to get rolling.
Kyle Higashioka with a base hit up the middle. A 1-out single here, top 4.
Ball hit hard right back up the middle, but you'll take a ground ball any day of the week, especially with some of the hard contact we've seen off the Rangers bats tonight from Gausman.
A 1-out single, and here's the number 9 hitter Nicky Lopez, who got things started in the 3rd inning with a base hit. Eventually Texas scored 5 runs. Base hit through the right side. A splitter down well below the knees, but Lopez went down and got it. And that'll put 2 men on for Jock Peterson, who began this ball game with a home run to finish off an 11-pitch at bat.
Well, the 11th pitch was a fastball. Looked like Alejandro Kirk wanted to elevate it a little bit. He didn't elevate it. It was inside on the edge, but Jock Peterson was all over that, and it was a little bit of a sign, sort of a things to come here tonight with what Rangers hitters have been doing to Kevin's pitches.
They've got 6 runs on 8 hits, and 3 of those 8 hits are home runs, the most home runs Gausman has allowed in a start this year. Splitter taken just low, ball one.
And you know, a guy like Peterson that's been in this game so long, you're facing a guy like Gausman, you're probably picking spots. Like right there, he might have been looking for the fastball, didn't get it. Maybe he turns now and looks for the splitter. There's that constant chess match going on. So he laid off that easily. And he could be just telling himself, make the ball be up this at bat. And he could change at bat to at bat.
Fastball in there, 2-1. So what was he thinking there?
Well, again, I think maybe this at bat he's making the ball be up. And you don't know exactly, but when you see him take a pitch right there near the bottom of the zone a couple times.
Chases that splitter, 2-2.
And he may have been selling out on a fastball here and just didn't get it, so he gets the big miss. But again, a hitter like that, you look really silly when that happens, but he's still right in this count. I'm not sure if he throws another good one like that, if he can get a guy like Peterson. I'd go up top, up high with the fastball. Tried it last time, but he didn't get it up there.
Tried to split again on the appeal, no swing, and it's a full count.
It's a good take. Or was it?
Ooh, that's a long way.
Yeah, that's pretty far.
Yeah. Langford next. He's homered tonight. Full count on Peterson. And ball 4 to load the bases.
So he kind of sold out on that one, and hitters know that you might look foolish, but the best part of it for Peterson is that he swung and missed at that, and then he's able to lay off a couple more.
And now Pete Walker has made a phone call, so somebody is going to get up in the bullpen again. They'd love to get, even if they can't win this game, they want to get as much as they can within reason out of Gausman, because the bullpen has been worked so hard. One guy who hasn't pitched in a while is Simeon Woods Richardson, who is the designated long man. The issue is Patrick Corbin is going tomorrow night, and he has not gone more than 4 innings in each of his last 3 starts. So maybe John Schneider is saying, well, I'd love to have Woods Richardson available tomorrow night, but circumstances dictate they're going to need him here tonight.
And how many times have you asked John questions and he can't give you an answer because it depends on what happens tonight? Well, here we are.
Bases loaded, 1 out for Wyatt Langford. Langford struck out in the first, homered in the third. Saw back-to-back sliders on the first 2 pitches of that at bat. Swung and missed the first one, homered on the second one. Another fastball, and it's 0-2.
Boy, some healthy swings though from Rangers hitters.
Blue Jays infield not all the way in, but the option of coming to the plate or trying to turn 2 on a ground ball. One-two. Splitter taken low and like no flinch at all.
No.
And that ball was down quite a bit, but I mean no sign of a flinch or anything there from Langford, or a twitch, nothing. Same as we saw from Peterson in a couple of takes.
I haven't seen Pete look like that before. It's just a helpless feeling when you're in that dugout. You can't help your pitcher out.
Popped it up. Guerrero coming down, calls off Kirk and makes the catch. 2 down.
Infield fly rule was called because it remained fair. Third base umpire put his arm up, but Vladdy comes in to help Kirk.
And Langford frustrated. Homered in his last at bat, but unable to produce with the bases loaded in this one. So it'll be up to Corey Seager, who grounded out in the first and then walked and scored in the 5-run third. And Seager's popped it up. Another play for Guerrero. And after all that, Gausman gets out of it without surrendering any more runs. It remains 6-0 Rangers going to the bottom of the fourth. First overall pick. Will it be Gavin McKenna? Find out tomorrow night. Coverage begins at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, only on Sportsnet. Bottom four here at Rogers Center. It is 6-0 Texas. Once through the order, all the Blue Jays have is a base hit by Ernie Clement, and he was erased on a double play ball off the bat of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So it's Springer, Clement, Guerrero here in the fourth. Of the 9 outs that Mackenzie Gore has gotten, Joe, 7 on the ground. The other 2 strikeouts. The Clement base hit was a hard hit ball, and then Okamoto hit a ball hard down to third. A great play made by Duran, but there's been a lot of soft contact or no contact tonight.
Yeah, and he's a guy that does give up some hard contact. Not a big ground ball pitcher by any means either, and I think a lot of that probably has to do with that four-seamer that he used a lot at the top of the zone. But they'll take hits any way they can get them right now.
Curveball down for ball 1 to Springer. Texas is on a 10-game road trip. They just lost 2 out of 3 to the Marlins, who, by the way, are one of the hottest teams in baseball right now. Blue Jays saw them a little bit earlier this year. After Skip Schumacher's team plays 4 here, they'll go to Cleveland to finish off that long road trip. In the American League West, everybody just about, except maybe the Angels, is kind of in it. You've got 4 teams within 2 games of one another. Seattle leads the division, and they're right at 500, 41-41. Sounded like Springer may have broken the bat on that ground ball, and he's retired for out number 1. The Athletics are a game and a half back, and then Houston and Texas are both 2 games back. And so the A's, the Astros, the Rangers, they're all right in the wild card hunt as well. Again, in that kind of wide open, nobody's playing great middle of the American League.
There are a lot of teams that are going to be duking this thing out until people separate themselves.
Clement with a line drive, base hit up the middle. Back in the first inning. Again, on the day where he found out he was the leading vote getter in phase 1 of the All-Star balloting, leading vote getter in the American League. And that gets him a starting spot at second base in the All-Star game. No phase 2 voting involving Clement. This is lifted to center. Langford there, 2 down, and we go down to Hazel.
Dan, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is here at the ballpark the same time every day and sticks around post-game as well. He's trying different things in the cage and on the field to try and get that feel back. John Schneider would like him to hit the ball hard, not try to hit home runs. When he hits the ball hard, the home runs will come. So it's a matter of time. It's not just the lack of homers, Dan. Guerrero has just 5 doubles since May 1st, a span of 45 games. Guys?
Hazel, thank you. He was hitting for a very high average at the beginning of the season. Not a lot of power, but still the OPS was up around 900 because of the hits and the walks. But as Hazel said, since the 1st of May, it has been a 2-month stretch unlike any other in the career of Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
And you see how late on that fastball he was. What are they doing? Coming right back in there. Absolutely. So until you get your body in a position where you can get to a good fastball in, and we've seen it, Dan. This is not like Vladdy can't handle a fastball in. We have seen it do it in his career. He can punish 95, 96 in there when his moves are right. For whatever reason, he can't seem to get those moves right. And then you start getting on fastballs because you have to cheat to get to those fastballs. What does that do? You speed up a little bit, and then you're very susceptible to the breaking stuff, and that's the problem, biggest problem we've been seeing.
And he takes strike 3 called. Inning over, still 6-0 Texas. Well, 30-some years ago, the Blue Jays went back-to-back, and now the championship rings are yours to wear. On Saturday, July 18th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a set of 92 and 93 World Series replica rings. Get your tickets now at BlueJays.com/tickets. Top 5, and Kevin Gausman at 80 pitches is back out to begin this inning. We saw Simeon Woods Richardson up in the top of the 4th, but he is no longer throwing. Gausman back out. So it looks like, Joe, and Gausman understands this because of all the work the bullpen has had to endure lately. They are going to ask Kevin to throw as many pitches as he can, probably up around 100, and hope to get at least another inning out of him.
Yeah, try to get 5 through this because of the score and because what has happened. It could have been a lot worse. It could have been out of there after 3.
Brandon Nimmo leading it off. He's 0 for 2. Line drive to center, straw back, and makes the grab.
More hard contact, though. Some really good swings from Rangers hitters and a lot of solid contact against Kevin tonight.
Location for the most part?
Location, but it's also just, to me, the stuff is not fooling them at all. And when I say good swings, I mean comfortable swings. They're taking good hacks at fastballs. We've seen some good hacks at the sliders and splitters as well.
Jake Berger homered his last time up, a 2-run shot that capped the 5-run 3rd, and he'll ground one up the middle, and that'll get through for a base hit. The 9th hit of the night for the Rangers.
And you talk about location, here's another one. And Berger's home run came on a splitter that was center cut as well. Looks like they're trying to come inside with this fastball, but look where it ends up. Hit on the ground, but certainly hard enough to find a hole. That's, to me, what we're seeing tonight. My bigger concern is going forward with Kevin Gausman. He's going to have to fix this. They're going to have to figure out what's going on here because he had been so good up until that last start in Chicago.
This start very different than that start. That start had 4 walks.
I'd almost prefer that one because now he's in the zone a lot and it's getting hit hard. That's more concerning for me than the other. I thought the other one in Chicago was more of an outlier. He would get back on track tonight. I was wrong.
Ezekiel Duran 0 for 2. Count even at 1-1. Looked like Kirk was getting ready to challenge. Maybe he didn't hear strike call right away from Roberto Ortiz, but it was eventually called a strike. Now 1-2. Undoubtedly talking about how long they can leave Gausman out there, when to get Woods Richardson up again. Splitter bounced in 2-2. Higashioka catching tonight on the other side, and he has seen his starter Mackenzie Gore face the minimum through 4. He's given up 1 hit, but that runner erased on a double play ball. To right field. Lucas back a couple of steps to make the catch, 2 down.
Well, Kevin Gausman's home runs, he's very susceptible if he leaves them in good spots. We've certainly seen that tonight against the Rangers, but 5 off the slider, 5 off the fastball, 4 off the splitter, but these pitches are getting a lot of the plate. When do we see Kevin at his best? That 4-seamer's at the top of the zone, the splitter's below the zone, and there's just so much space in between, but he's catching a lot of plate, and the Rangers have been all over him tonight.
And it's 5.54, but he only throws the slider about 10% of the time. He doesn't throw the slider nearly as much as the fastball or the splitter. So on a per pitch basis, if you will, the slider obviously has given up a lot more damage. Ground ball out to short. Clement will step on the bag to force the runner, and that will retire the side. It is 6-0 Texas going to the bottom of the fifth. And time now for a Blue Jays Central update with Blake Murphy. Months ago when Gausman came off the field and he's saying to John Schneider, I'm good, I can keep going. And this is Gausman being a good teammate here. It has been a rough night for him. He's at 91 pitches. John Schneider could easily say to him right now, you're done for the night. But Gausman, it appears, is trying to convince John Schneider and Pete Walker, send me back out there. And this is entirely, in my opinion, from the point of view of he understands how hard the bullpen has been worked, and he's being a leader and a teammate.
Absolutely. He knows all of the numbers we have shown tonight about the starters and the lack of the depth in this rotation, and it's not about tonight's game. He wants to go another inning to help this team against the Rangers tomorrow and the next day.
And he's still in the game. You can see it. He wouldn't be sitting there with that rap on his shoulder if he wasn't going to be going back out there. Kaz Okamoto leads off the bottom of the fifth. Grounded out to third, a terrific play made by Ezekiel Duran. Meanwhile, Mackenzie Gore is locked in tonight, a guy who can have trouble with walks. One of the highest walk rates among starting pitchers in the American League, but he hasn't walked anybody here tonight. A check swing foul off. Berger giving chase, but that winds up about 20 feet beyond where he could get to. It's 2-2 on Okamoto.
And when you see those check swings right there, it tells you a little something about that pitch. That curveball's tough to pick up, and especially when he couples it with that four-seam fastball.
Now to play again.
And that right there is just battling. That's a great piece of hitting to stay alive. Throws that four-seamer up and away after that backdoor curveball.
Two-strike approach is important, right? Just live to see another pitch sometimes.
That's exactly what he did with that swing. Now they're coming back in there.
Too far in. 3-2. Kirk next, and then Lucas. And a curveball into left field for a base hit. And Okamoto with the second hit of the night for the Blue Jays.
Well, it's good to see from Kazuma. Hits that breaking ball down in the zone. And we know against left-handers that breaking ball coming into you as a right-handed batter, very different than when you're facing a righty and that slider sweeper is going away. Gets the barrel to this pitch, and that goes back to that ball he fouled off earlier in the count to stay alive.
Yeah, showed the ability to adjust his swing, cut down his swing. The last three pitches of that at bat. Here's Kirk, who grounded out to third in his one at bat tonight.
And I think with Alejandro, when he loses his feel, he gets a little big. And when he gets a little big, that's big when I mean the big stride and works around the baseball. He's got to really stay on it. That's when he's at his best.
Lines it into right for a base hit. Okamoto up to second.
Almost looks like Alejandro may have even overcompensated that at bat, saying because he had rolled over to the third baseman on a curveball his previous at bat. He's got a pretty flat swing, so he can handle the ball up there, and you can see how flat that bat path was to get to the high fastball.
The first two are aboard here in the bottom of the fifth as the Blue Jays try to generate some offense. Here's Nathan Lucas, the lone lefty in the lineup tonight, grounded out his first time up. Duran well off the line, but in even with the bag at third. The rest of the infielders playing him to pull and a double play depth. Talked to Lucas before the game and asked him, is that hamstring of yours, remember he was on the IL, is it 100%? And Nathan, as he often does, contemplated the question for 3 or 4 seconds. He doesn't rush into answers. And he said, pretty close. Pretty close. Feeling good. But it does feel like every now and again maybe they'll give him a day here and there. He's a very important part of this team. They need him offensively. They need him defensively. As this one was fouled off right at you over near the third base dugout.
That's fighting off the fastball.
Yep. A look back in the 0-2. So pretty close to 100%, says Lucas. And I'm sure going through kind of daily treatment, stretching, that sort of thing, just to keep it as close to 100% as possible. Guys are playing, but they're playing with stuff in many cases. Outside, 2-2.
Left-handed hitters have somehow had good success against Mackenzie Gore this season, and I think if you're Nathan Lucas, you're looking for that fastball, and he gets a lot of forcing fastballs and sliders.
Pop back foul. Higashioka couldn't find it, but it's back in the seats. He doesn't have the look of a lefty who would have reverse splits.
No.
Big fastball, got a slider that he's already thrown to Lucas. And
bit of a new sinker that he is throwing as well. He'll run that in on lefties.
Okamoto at second, Kirk at first. And it's down and away, 3-2. Davis Schneider waiting on deck. Gore sets. And the full count pitch. Foul back.
There is that sinker that I referred to. So not only is it inside, but it's also running up and in. It's easier said than done. You could easily say lay off that pitch and it's ball 4, but it's so tough to lay off. Lefty facing a lefty, you're trying to stay in there as long as you possibly can to guard against that breaking ball.
There's ball 4, and that will load the bases. And that will bring the pitching coach of the Texas Rangers out to the mound. Jordan Teagues is on his way to have a conversation with Gore. The Blue Jays with their first threat of any kind really in this game here tonight, and its bases loaded, nobody out. Davis Schneider, the batter.
He got a bunch of fastballs in that first at bat, and of course he was elevating a lot of them up and away, and we see teams continue to try to do that to him. Will they change the game plan? I don't see why. So if I'm Davis, stay on the fastball right here.
A base hit by Okamoto, a base hit by Kirk, a walk to Lucas. And now Schneider. Curveball bounced in for ball 1. It's interesting because Davis is always a patient hitter, very good feel for the strike zone, but at the same time you want to drive in some runs, you want to get your team on the board.
And that's a huge pitch. First of the at bat. Curveball not finding the zone.
Called strike on the fastball, 1-1.
And that's what I mean about staying on the fastball. First pitch curveball, and it's a ball. You're kind of boxing that pitcher into saying, okay, you got to bring the heater. I thought Davis might be all over that, but he just feels that's a little too far up for him.
Trying to bring him down. Just missed. Ball 2. They're starting to feel it a little bit. Energy starting to pick up a little bit as the Blue Jays try to break through against Mackenzie Gore. And that's a called strike on the outside corner. 2-2, but a challenge. Schneider is by far the best on the team at challenging. And he's right again. So it's 3-1.
Get you a cookie now. He is looking one spot, one pitch, wherever that is. Is it middle? Is it middle in? Wherever he likes it. Look for that spot. Otherwise, let her go.
Do you look for a certain speed too, or just a spot?
Fastball. Absolutely. You got to sit on the fastball, whether he likes it middle away, middle in. We know it's middle in. Don't be late.
High in the air to center. This will get a run home for sure. Langford the catch. Here comes Okamoto, and the sac fly by Schneider gives the Blue Jays their first run of the night.
Davis got a pretty good fastball. It was more out on the outer edge, and that's just barely why he couldn't quite get to it. More toward the end of the bat, well located from Gore. But a very good plate appearance by Schneider to cash in that run.
An inch or two further in might have been a different story. So it is 6-1, first and second, one out. And the batter now is Miles Straw, who grounded out to short in his first at bat. Kirk at second, Lucas at first, and Straw looks at a strike. And now even at 1-1.
Miles can hit a fastball, so same situation. Manager's cheering him on right there, more so than anything, to get a good pitch that you can handle. We know what Miles is trying to do. He's trying to pull something in the air. Gore likes to keep that fastball away from him. See if he can't make a mistake more middle.
And I'm pretty sure Miles Straw remembers that last year he had a single and a double off Gore. And I'm pretty sure Gore remembers too.
Sure.
Pitchers remember that stuff, right? One. Down and in. Good stop by Higashioka. Ball 2.
Higashioka on his feet. A little bit of a different look from the veteran catcher. You'll see him on occasion not using the one knee stance. I'm not sure there are many in the game anymore, Dan, that aren't down on one knee.
10 years in the big leagues.
Kyle Higashioka has been around a long time. He'll still go down on one knee on occasion.
Line drive. Fair ball. Kirk is going to come in to score. Lucas is getting the wave. He is on his way to the plate, and in there, it's a 2-run double for Miles Straw.
He got a fastball all right. He got a cut fastball on the inner part of the plate. What's he trying to do? Hit something hard to the pull side, and did he ever? You get yourself in an advantage count. He's looking to pull a fastball, and you got a cutter right on the inner part.
Boy, a good at bat by Straw. It is 6-3 all of a sudden. And here is Luis Urias. No sign of any activity yet in the Texas pen. Again, Gore was absolutely cruising until this inning. How about the bottom of the order? Urias with a ground out his first time up.
And again, a first pitch curveball does not find the zone, so look for the fastball now. When a pitcher starts struggling with the secondary stuff, you can zone in on the heater. I think that's what the Blue Jays have done well this inning.
Way outside. And now there is activity in the Texas bullpen. Right-hander Peyton Gray starting to throw. The Rangers have been getting outstanding work at the end of their bullpen from Jacob Junis and Jacob Lutz, but it's been a little murky in the middle. They have struggled with the bridge guys to get them to the back end.
Never easy as a skipper.
Lot of stress. Straw out at second. 2-1 pitch on the way. And a fly ball lifted to left center by Urias. Langford the catch, 2 down. So that'll get it back around to the top now for George Springer, who has struck out and grounded out tonight. And a big cut and a foul back, 0-1. Simeon Woods Richardson has been throwing intermittently, but again, we think Kevin Gausman is going back out to at least start the top of the 6th inning. That sure seemed to be the feel of the conversation that we showed you a while back between John Schneider, Pete Walker, and Kevin Gausman. He's at 91 pitches. One and one on Springer. He's still in the game. They've got a plan, they got a number, whatever they've got, but the feel of the game has changed a little bit.
Absolutely.
Now. Ball 2.
The Blue Jays have done exactly what you want to do when you are down 6-0. Score a few runs to let that other team know that you are right back in the game. And while it's still down 3, you just feel a huge momentum shift with plenty of baseball to play.
And fouled back again as Springer goes down to a knee. It's 2-2. Boone Chong with a little bit of work on that left thumb of Alejandro Kirk. That's the one he fractured back in April, and obviously still wearing a little bit of protective padding on it. And a check swing tapper. Springer will not be able to beat it out. Berger will beat him to the bag. But the Blue Jays get 3, and Miles Straw drove in 2 of them with a line drive into the left field corner. And now with the end of 5, it's 6-3. Presented by Ontario Honda Dealers. Outdoor programming runs from 10:30 in the morning up until first pitch, with activities, inflatables, mascots, and more. Visit BlueJays.com/promotions for tickets. Here with the roof half open tonight at the ballpark in front of a crowd of 35,273. The Blue Jays have made it a bit interesting here. They got 3 in the bottom of the 5th. It is now 6-3 Texas, and Kevin Gausman is back out to begin the top of the 6th with Simeon Woods Richardson up in the bullpen. First hitter is Kyle Higashioka, who has lined out and had a base hit. Kind of an unusual time to take your time out right there. Just leading off an inning.
But you know, as a catcher, you're rushing in there. You're taking all your gear off. You're getting your batting gloves on, and your helmet, your shin guard. He's probably just catching his breath still. I don't know what that's like. I can't imagine ever working like that with the pitch clock as a catcher, running off the field and trying to rush back out there. You probably wanted to have a conversation with your pitcher when the inning ended.
It's a great point you make, because we think about and talk about the pitch clock with respect to the time between the pitches, but there is a clock in effect between innings now as well.
And if a catcher is left on base, I think the umpires will give a little bit of leeway there.
So how many more pitches, how many more batters? They've got Woods Richardson ready whenever they want to make the change, but trying to get as much out of Gausman as they can. Lined into left field, a base hit, second hit of the night for Higashioka. And another set of instructions now going down to the bullpen from pitching coach Pete Walker.
Well, clearly Gausman is staying in for Lopez, but I gotta believe this will be his last hitter. I can't imagine he's seeing Peterson again.
Yeah, Jock Peterson has homered, singled, and walked off Gausman.
Another hard hit ball, this time by Higashioka.
Now Lopez is 2 for 2 as well, a couple of singles. Okamoto way in at third. That's a fair ball. That's 1 out, and that's 2. Guerrero starts the 3-6 double play.
We have seen Vladdy do this before, where he fields the baseball, and the awareness of where you are around that bag, it takes him right to the first base bag, and he loves his little 3/4 or underhand arm flip over there to Ernie as he applies the tag.
Nicely done by Guerrero, pointing at his buddy, and with 2 outs and nobody on, Gausman will stay to face Peterson. Back to the mound. And how about Kevin Gausman, after the way the first 3 innings went in this game, getting through 6 tonight, helping to save the bullpen a little bit. The Blue Jays coming back up. Are you a Rogers customer? It's Canada's winning inning. When the Blue Jays get a hit this inning, you could win a VIP trip to the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Bottom of the 6th inning, the Rangers 6, the Blue Jays 3. And it'll be Ernie Clement, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and Kazuma Okamoto. Nice look in from center field. Look how powerful these cameras are. See that? That was magic. That was actually a different camera. Troy Clara switched to a different camera. He wasn't playing along with me there. Did he go? No, says Jim Wolf. So it's ball 1 on Clement, who's 1 for 2. Just foul.
Good idea again. You have to stay on the fastball from Gore. A lot of the fastballs to the right hand hitter's been more away, up and away. But if he misses middle in, be ready for it.
Clement lifts a fly ball to medium depth left. Osuna is there for the first out. So Ernie now 1 for 3, and now it'll be Guerrero, who's 0 for 2, a double play grounder in the first, and then called on strikes. Got a backdoor cutter from Gore to get him in the 4th. A one-hopper hit sharply, but gloved by Seager. 2 down. So Guerrero now 0 for 3. And 2 very quick outs for Gore. Here's Okamoto. Okamoto got the 3-run 5th inning started with a base hit to left. The pitch was called a ball, and the catcher Higashioka is challenging. And he is incorrect.
See, Higashioka tells his pitcher, my bad.
So the Rangers down to one challenge. That's in there, 1-1. Curveball that Okamoto has to reach for, and lifts a high fly to right center. Langford the catch, and the Blue Jays will go in order. End of 6, 6-3 Rangers. And Outfield District is the perfect place to watch a game under the sun. Enjoy your favorite general admission spots at the ballpark, all with one ticket. Visit BlueJays.com/Outfield District for tickets. 6-3 Texas going top 7. A lot of early damage for the Rangers. 3 home runs. Jock Peterson, Wyatt Langford, Jake Berger. Kevin Gausman was able to keep going and get through 6 innings tonight. So now the first move to the bullpen for John Schneider, and the 3rd appearance as a Blue Jay for Simeon Woods Richardson.
Woods Richardson last pitched in the Red Sox series in Boston. That was back on the 17th, just over a week ago. Pitched 3 scoreless innings in that one. He did walk 3, was fighting the zone a little bit, but he's pitched 10 scoreless innings now as a reliever, both with the Blue Jays and a couple with the Minnesota Twins earlier this season as well.
A guy who can give them some length. He'll face 2, 3, 4. That means Wyatt Langford is first up. 1 for 3, hit a 3-run homer in the 3rd. And sends a fastball high in the air down the right field side, twisting foul. So as a Blue Jay, Woods Richardson 2 outings, 7 innings, has not allowed a run yet. This is popped up, and it looks like it's playable for Guerrero, and it is. Let's go down to Hazel.
When I caught up with Pete Walker, he told me he found a couple of things watching Simeon Woods Richardson. He said he may have been tipping his pitches, but they think that they've cleaned that up. It's just a matter of utilizing his stuff and trusting it. He thought his velo was up a tick, his changeup command was excellent, and his slider location was excellent. He has some weapons, and Walker said, I can tell you, I'm impressed. Guys?
Hazel, thank you. They are tinkering a little bit. His 2 outings that we referred to, the first one with the eye test looked a lot more impressive, for lack of a better term, than the second one. He gave up some walks. There was a lot of traffic in the second one, but he didn't give up any runs.
Hit a real good fastball in that first one.
That's what
stood out, I think, to all of us for sure. Not as much in the second one. He was coming off a lot of rest. He told me he just felt really rested in that first game, so it was coming out pretty good. But he's not an overpowering guy. He'll be in the 92, 93 range.
2-0 to Corey Seager. Misses up and away. 93 there on that fastball. And that's a 4-pitch walk. The final line on Kevin Gausman tonight, 6 innings, and again 1 run in the first, 5 in the 3rd, but he was able to get through 4, 5, and 6, spare the bullpen a little bit, not give up any more runs, gave up a season high 3 home runs.
Tough night. Kevin may have lost the battle, but he's going to try to win the war in the long run here. And what I mean by that is it's a tough night for him, but he stayed out there for 6 innings, and that is huge for this team right now with the shape they are in, both the rotation and the bullpen. So bottom line is he's going to have to figure it out. That's 2 tough ones in a row now, and this one different than the previous one in Wrigley Field in Chicago. This one he's hit pretty hard by these Rangers hitters.
Yeah, the one in Chicago had as much to do with walks as anything. 2-0 after a 4-pitch walk to Seager. Now 2-0 on Nimmo. Lefty Tyler Alexander now up in the bullpen for the Rangers. And a strike taken, 3-1. Woods Richardson, 2.5 years, if you will, as a starting pitcher with Minnesota. Misses inside, ball 4. Boy, back-to-back walks with 1 out here in the 7th. And the next walk will be taken by Pete Walker.
This is what happened in that last outing in Boston. He went 3 scoreless innings, but he did allow 3 hits, and he also walked 3. So lots of traffic to pitch in and out of trouble. And it's not always easy to do that, and he's got himself in a bit of a pickle here with 2 walks.
And now he's got to face a guy with a lot of power in Jake Burger. 2 for 3 tonight, including a home run. His 14th of the season. That leads the team up to 48 RBIs now for Burger. Good double play candidate if you can get a ground ball. In there with a strike, 0-1. Started off with the White Sox, a couple of years with the Marlins, and now his 2nd year in Arlington. A well-located fastball at 94, and Woods Richardson out in front, 0-2. Burger using his timeout.
Couple of sliders this at bat, backing up a little bit, and he's going to have to really get that release point out front. A big power guy like this, you want to stay away. Burger does more damage middle in.
In the air to center. Backpedaling Straw. He's got room. That is the 2nd out. The runner at 2nd, Seager, will tag and come to 3rd. Nimmo stays at 1st. 2 down.
And Jake Burger knows that he may have just missed that pitch. It was out there just enough off the middle, maybe a little toward the end of the bat.
So it'll be Ezekiel Duran with runners on the corners and 2 down. Duran 0 for 3 tonight. Trying to keep the Blue Jays. Woods Richardson is trying to keep the Blue Jays within range here after they got the 3 in the bottom of the 5th. Drops a curveball in for a strike, 0-1. The slower breaking ball, more 12-6. And out in front, 0-2. Blue Jays just trying to see what they might have here in a guy who has been a starter, and again, as Hazel told you, they're tweaking this and experimenting with that, seeing if they can get the stuff to a level where they think it plays.
It was a tough go in Minnesota. Yeah. Certainly improvements need to be made.
He strikes him out. So a couple of walks, but Woods Richardson will strand them. And heading to the 7th inning stretch here at Rogers Center right now, it's still 6-3 Texas. Than ever before with hands-on history tours now at Rogers Center. Hold authenticated game-used artifacts in your hands like a baseball thrown by Roy Halladay in his last Blue Jays start. Visit BlueJays.com/tours for tickets. Nice look here at a clear, cool downtown night. 6-3 Rangers, bottom 7. Alejandro Kirk, Nathan Lucas, and Davis Schneider with Mackenzie Gore back out to begin the bottom of the 7th. Kirk 1 for 2, singled and scored back in the 3-run 5th. Two-hopper right to short, easy play for Seager.
Those are those easy outs where Mackenzie Gore didn't get Kirk out right there. Alejandro just got himself out, got a first pitch. Fastball right there in the zone, just did not put his good swing on it, rolling it over to the shortstop.
Now Lucas, who grounded out in the 2nd. And then worked a tough walk against Gore in the 5th. And again, left on left. A little bit more challenging, although as we mentioned, Gore has reverse splits. Lucas, though, does not get a lot of opportunities against left-handed pitching. And that walk was a part of that 3-run inning. Chased that one in the dirt. It's 0-2. Down and away. See Gore a little bit frustrated, might have overthrown that fastball a bit. Tomorrow night figures to be a challenge for this Blue Jays offense as well. Nathan Eovaldi is going to be on the mound, and he's got a 4.24 ERA this year, but Nathan Eovaldi's been a good pitcher for a long time. That is a challenge coming. I thought he was going to call it a strike. Looked like a strike live. It wasn't called a strike. Higashioka challenges. And it was a strike. So Lucas is down on strikes for out number 2. So Eovaldi tomorrow night against Patrick Corbin. Then the Blue Jays have announced Dylan Cease and Shane Bieber over the weekend. Texas has yet to commit. Jack Leiter has gone on the IL. He's had ankle surgery. Cal Quantrill may figure in one way or another, either as a starter or a bulk guy. The Port Hope, Ontario native, son of Paul Quantrill.
Saw Cal this afternoon, and said he pitched 2 innings in his last start because he may have been available or needed tonight. So we could see him at any point this weekend. I don't think starting is out of the question. If they get to that opening on Sunday, we shall see. But we will see Cal Quantrill in this series.
Pete Walker with some instructions for Simeon Woods Richardson, who's coming back out for the 8th. 2-1 the count on Davis Schneider, who struck out in the 3rd and had a sacrifice fly in the 5th, driving in the first Blue Jay run tonight. Ripped foul. It's interesting. There are some fastballs where you think Schneider would get to them and he swings through them. And there are some he absolutely clubs. That one was in closer to him, and you feel he's much better inner half than outer half.
I do. I think the ball away gives him trouble, and he'll admit that himself. He's looking for it to stay middle. There's a setup away again.
And Gore gets him to end the inning. End of 7, still 6-3 for Texas, and time now for a Blue Jay Central update with the Blake Murphy and the birthday girl, Madison Shipman. Season is now officially in full swing, and Hockey Central signing season has every move covered. Don't miss it, starting Wednesday at 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific on Sportsnet. top 8 here at Rogers Center. Dan Schulman, Joe Siddall, Hazel May, 6-3 Rangers. Simeon Woods Richardson back on the mound, his second inning of work. Facing the bottom third of the Texas order, beginning with Alejandro Osuna. Fastball is there, 1-1. Just miss outside, ball 2. As David Popkins and George Springer are looking at a little video, and I would imagine it's the guy who's up in the bullpen right now for the Rangers that they're checking out. And that guy is Jacob Junis, who is scheduled to be like a swing man or a long man, but back in the spring and then early in the season, the Rangers had a number of late inning relievers who either got hurt or didn't pitch well or both, and they had to restructure their entire bullpen. This is sent to left. Schneider back, makes the play. And Jacob Junis has become their primary setup man. Jacob Latz, who was vying to be their 5th starter but lost out in that competition, has become the closer, although Skip Schumacher told us before the game he doesn't like to use the word closer, but he's the guy getting the big outs at the end of the game when they're close, so it fits the job description. But Schumacher raved to us about both of those pitchers and what they have meant to his team, and said that Latz should be an all-star, and the numbers support it.
Well, he said Latz has that starter stuff as a closer that you just don't see very often, and Junis, strike throwing guy, righties lefties, doesn't matter. Good to have in the back end.
And so to go back to Mackenzie Gore for a minute, he goes 7. And that allows them to just go to the last 2 guys. They don't have to use their 3rd, 4th, 5th best guys. Gore goes 7. He looks like he's done. And Skip Schumacher can go setup guy in the 8th, closer in the 9th, whatever you want to call them. He's got his 2 guys ready.
It's the way the game was designed to be played, right? If you're with the lead and you have that upper hand. Makes it a little easier for the manager.
Jesus Sanchez might get a chance to get in there if a righty comes in. The first 2 hitters for the Blue Jays are Straw and Urias. So we could easily see like Jimenez and Sanchez or something like that. Get a couple of left-handed bats in there. Dalton Varsho's on the bench tonight as well, as is Brandon Valenzuela.
Looks like all hands on deck right now. Everybody be ready.
Foul back, still 3-2. Higashioka's had a good night, 2 for 3. Nicky Lopez next. Ball 4, 3rd walk given up by Woods Richardson. There he is.
Jeno.
He is indeed here. Danny Jansen, one of the most popular players on this team when he was a Blue Jay. John Schneider's known him forever. He came up through the system, made his major league debut in 2018, and stayed here until he was dealt at the deadline in 2024. Parts of 7 seasons here in Toronto. On the IL right now with a forearm injury, but as we mentioned way back at the beginning of the game, that's an A+ person right there.
Absolutely. 16th round draft pick. He has put together quite a nice career.
The 1-0 to Lopez. And Woods Richardson is fighting his command here tonight. He has faced 7 batters, has retired 4, has walked the other 3, and he's now behind the number 9 hitter 2-0. Runner goes, it's hit in the air to left field. Here comes Schneider, a diving catch. The throw headed towards first is in time. What a play by Davis Schneider. A great effort out and left. A diving catch. Back up to his feet. And an accurate enough throw to get Higashioka before he could get back to first for the double play. Let's all remember that Davis Schneider is a natural infielder, a second baseman, but worked very, very, very hard to become a competent outfielder. A great diving catch. Higashioka was running. Schneider back to his feet. And I mean, straight as an arrow, right on line to Vladimir Guerrero to double off the runner. That's a great defensive play.
We have heard that right from the manager's mouth, the work he has put in, and we've seen Davis Schneider enter the game as a defensive replacement at times, but a great catch. And heads up, I'm sure his teammates were yelling 1-1-1. Higashioka with no idea where the baseball was. Another base running blunder on the base pass, and Schneider doubles him off.
Here's Jacob Junis, generally the setup man for the Rangers. You see the numbers. He has given up 1 run in 3 of his last 4 appearances, but overall the numbers are very good. You can see he's not a big strikeout guy. And here is Andres Jimenez to come off the bench to pinch hit for Miles Straw. John Schneider's got some left-handed bats on the bench, and he is going to use them now. That's outside. It's 2-0.
Skip Schumacher told us what a strike thrower he is, falling behind 2-0 here, but not many walks, not tons of hits, not a lot of base runners, but Jimenez is up 3-0.
And will definitely, should definitely be taking one here. The Blue Jays need base runners. Jesus Sanchez is out on deck to pinch hit for Luis Urias. First strike, and it's 3-1. Not overpowering at all. He's got both fastballs, 4-seamer, 2-seamer, both around 92, a changeup and a breaking ball, the sweeper.
See that low slot too with his arm angle, give it a little bit of a different movement profile.
So now the 3-2 pitch bounced foul. Softly to first, right at Berger for the first out. Now the story of the night from a Texas point of view, the 3 home runs on the offensive side and 7 very good innings by Gore, really only threatened at all in the 5th when the Blue Jays got all 3 of their runs.
It's just tough to square up. He really used that elevated fastball up and away to those right-handed hitters, ran that cutter in, kept them honest with the changeup and curveball away. Really mixed it up well with that good heater.
And as we mentioned, it may not be easier tomorrow. Nathan Eovaldi is on the mound. Been a good starting pitcher for a long time. ERA over 4 this year, but on any given day he can still be very, very good. Patrick Corbin will be on the mound for the Blue Jays. Jesus Sanchez pinch hitting for Luis Urias, takes it low, ball 1. So Junis fell behind Jimenez. 3-0 eventually. They came back to get him. Now he's behind 2-0 on Sanchez. Outside ball 3. Strike over the inside corner, 3-1. So the sequence, the pattern repeating itself here in the 2 at-bats. Big Swing and a miss. 3-2.
It's good movement on that sinker. You see it running away from Sanchez, but that's the one you want to get.
And Junis comes back to strike him out.
Catch every pitch with Canada's most reliable 5G Plus network and best 5G Plus network. Rogers, we got you.
2 down, bottom 8. Here's George Springer. 0 for 3. When Miles Straw doubled in a couple of runs in the 5th inning, it was 6-3 at that point. And there was a man on, obviously Straw at second. There was only 1 out at the time. But since then, 10 in a row have been set down by Gore and now Junis.
Kenzie Gore locked it back in to finish off his outing, and now Junis. And you mentioned what Skip Schumacher had to say about his 2 back-end relievers. He feels pretty confident with the lead with these 2 guys.
They may not, be your prototypical flame-throwing 8th and 9th inning guys, but the numbers say they are doing a really good job for the Rangers. Did not go. 2-2. Woods Richardson is coming back out. He'll work a 3rd inning. There's nobody up in the Blue Jay bullpen. Springer with a fly ball to left field. Osuna's got room. And that's that. A 3 up, 3 down, bottom of the 8th, and it's still 6-3 Rangers. No, it's ground screw. Right now, get 50% off City TV Plus for 3 months and stream hit series like Welcome to Wrexham and Battle on the Beach. Visit citytvplus.ca to subscribe today. Top 9, 6-3 Rangers. 3rd inning for Simeon Woods Richardson. All kinds of defensive changes. Sanchez stays in and right. Lucas moves to center. Jimenez stays in at short. Clement moves to second. How about this? Jock Peterson with the 3rd baseman Okamoto way back and off the line. Tried to drop a bunt down for a base hit.
He saw where the 3rd baseman was playing way over by shortstop. He knows he doesn't have to rush it either. Just get it down, but he couldn't get it down.
Trying it again or thinking about it. 2 balls and a strike.
This is the game too, because what Peterson's doing is trying to get them to play Okamoto in a bit more. Maybe he can shoot one past him.
He does have 11 career bunt hits, Justin Mowbray tells us. Off the corner, 3-1.
And you figure he's a left-handed hitter that, especially before the shifts, the shift ban, you know they're playing him way over there.
And they're giving it to him if he wants it. Okamoto's not moving. Ball 4. That's his 4th time on base tonight and the 4th walk given up by Woods Richardson.
What do you call it?
He called that a strike. Oh, he did. Peterson didn't hear it.
Did he have time to challenge?
So it's 3-2.
I'm guessing there is no forgiveness if you're heading to first base because you didn't know it was a strike call, because now time has elapsed. You can't challenge.
So now the 3-2 pitch. And that's ball 4. So 9 batters faced by Woods Richardson, Joe, and he's walked 4 of them.
Yeah, well, this was the issue in his last outing in Boston, but he was able to pitch around it. He's been able to pitch around it here tonight, but you can only do this so long. You're playing with fire.
Especially with this part of the order. Here's Wyatt Langford, 1 for 4, hit a 3-run homer in the 3rd. Pops it up foul, and it'll get out of play right side. Ground ball to 3rd. Okamoto to 2nd, 1. Clement to 1st, 2.
Nice job all around. Okamoto gets rid of this ball quickly, and look at the feed he gives to Clement right up there where he can handle it. That allows Ernie to turn it quickly to get the speedy runner.
So 2 down and the base is empty, and here's Corey Seager. 0 for 2 with a couple of walks. First game back off the concussion IL. He suffered the concussion trying to score from first on a double a couple of weeks ago. And the collision with the catcher is what did it. That's off Woods Richardson. He recovers and has plenty of time. Hopefully is okay. And he's worked 3 scoreless innings here tonight. It is 6-3 going to the bottom of the 9th. Left-hander Jacob Latz coming in for the Rangers. Next game of this series is tomorrow night. Nathan Eovaldi against Patrick Corbin. Kaz Okamoto and the Blue Jays taking on the Rangers again. Sportsnet 1, Blue Jays Central, 6:30 Eastern Time, 3:30 Pacific. First pitch at 7:07 here locally in downtown Toronto. It is 6-3 Texas. Last chance for the Blue Jays. And a guy who is not the biggest name in the sport, but a guy who has unquestionably been one of the best relievers in the American League this year. Jacob Latz is into the game.
Recorded his 14th save of the season on Monday against Miami. Went 1 1/3 shutout innings. To do that, it's MLB high 8th time he's done at 4+ outs. Latz is got starter stuff, as Skip Schumacher said. He's got the fastball, slider, changeup, and curveball, all 4.
And Skip Schumacher described all 4 as plus pitches. Ernie Clement to lead it off. And a swing and a miss. Got a first pitch changeup up and away, and it's 0-1. Clement, Guerrero, and Okamoto the batters. Ernie is 1 for 3. Had a base hit in the 1st. Reaches for it and lines it softly into left for his 2nd hit of the night.
Ernie takes this changeup down and away, but he does what Ernie does best. Ernie talked about that today when he was being interviewed about his all-star selection. He said, one thing with this organization, they have let me be myself, who I am, and he has certainly taken that to heart.
Here's Guerrero. He is 0 for 3. The crowd doing its part. Changeup, swung on and missed. 0-2. Coming into the game tonight, 37 innings, only 15 hits given up by Latz. And only 8 walks as well. Base runners do not happen very often against Latz. And again, it was trying to be the 5th starter on this team. Lost out in that competition in spring training. They had some injuries at the back end of the bullpen. And now he's likely going to the All-Star game as a reliever. 0-2. Guerrero does not go. Ball one.
This combination of Junis and Latz at the end of the ball game, just not a lot of base runners from either one of them.
So it's 1-2, and it's fouled back. That was a full force swing right there from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Couldn't get on top of it.
High fastball. That's the intent you want to see with the swings. Get that body moving.
Takes it low, and it's 2-2. Brandon Valenzuela may be called upon. Okamoto's on deck. Clements at first. There's nobody out, bottom 9. And the 2-2 pitch. Down the right side, foul and out of play. A mix of fastballs and changeups so far in this at bat. Another 2-2. Taken low, ball 3. Okamoto next.
That's who you want at the plate representing the tying run.
If Guerrero can get on, he would be the tying run. The 3-2 pitch. And another one fouled out of play. Nine pitches and counting. Clement the lead. And again, the 3-2. And again, it's fouled off.
And he's in a good spot here. I think Vladdy can sit on the fastballs right now. You can almost sell out to it. The tying run's on deck. He does not want to put him on.
One more pitch coming here from Latz. Swing and a miss. He got him with a fastball down around the knees to strike him out for out number 1.
Looking for the fastball, got the fastball, but just not catching up. Can almost see the way he cuts across the baseball a little bit. Across his body.
One down, and now Okamoto 1 for 3. Singleton scored in the 5th, and that's a good changeup right there. Look how far out in front he was. Inside at the knees to even it up. That changeup's a weapon. Look at those numbers.
Well, again, coupling that with that fastball too. That's what plays off it so well.
Driven to center field and deep. And it is gone. A long home run for Kaz Okamoto, number 18 on the season, and it's a 1-run game.
Little surprised that he came back with a fastball, but again, knowing that the tying run is on deck, you can be aggressive. He did that, and if I'm Latz, I'm still up 1 run, but Kaz Okamoto just hammering another fastball.
To the deepest part of the ballpark. Langford giving chase. came back and hit him in the head after it went out to add injury to insult, I guess. A 2-run home run for Okamoto. Joe, how about 18 home runs and 51 RBIs now on the season? This is game number 81, the halfway point of the season.
Keep going, Kaz, and keep going, Canadian voters. Get this guy in the All-Star game.
It's a 1-run game. There's one out here in the bottom of the 9th, and here's Kirk, 1 for 3. And a strike at the knees. Keep in mind, the Blue Jays have both ABS challenges remaining. That did look like it caught the bottom of the zone, but the point being, can't take them home with you. Use them if you think you should. Up high, a ball and a strike. Dalton Varsho's on the bench, got a helmet in hand. He would run if Kirk got on. Ooh, and Kirk went after a changeup well down and away, and it's 1-2. Valenzuela's on deck to hit for Lucas. John Schneider hoping to use his entire bench here tonight and hoping it pays off. The 1-2 pitch. Again, the changeup and a ground ball back to Latz for the second out. So they're down to their last out, and it'll be Valenzuela, the switch hitter, coming up to get a right-handed bat in there against Latz. He'll hit for Lucas. Hear the ovation, or you may be able to hear the ovation as Valenzuela is announced into the game. He's had some big moments.
Well, Brendan Valenzuela has been watching what we've been watching. You see a good fastball from the left-hander. You see the outstanding changeup. It's not a changeup you're going to look for and sit on. He is trying to get to one of these fastballs from Latz.
Hot lately, despite not playing all the time, obviously, since Kirk has come back. Valenzuela basically starting 1 out of 3. But coming off the bench here with the Blue Jays down a run and down to their final out. Swing and a foul back, 0-1. Well, he got after that first pitch fastball. Now the 0-1. Did he go? Jim Wolf says yes this time down at first, and now they're down to their final strike. And that's the starter stuff in the closer, dropping in a curveball like that.
Just as you described that earlier, what Skip Schumacher talked about, his 4 different weapons, all very good ones. That's a really good curveball.
The 0-2. A little bit in, ball 1. Jock Peterson and the Rangers got out to an early 6-0 lead. It's 6-5 now. The 1-2 pitch way high, ball 2. Is that trying to throw the best fastball of your life right there?
Safe to say Latz was trying to finish this game with that pitch.
So it's 2-2. And it's strike 3 called, and that's the ball game. The Blue Jays make a late charge at it. They got 3 in the middle innings in the 5th, and then they got 2 in the bottom of the 9th on the home run by Okamoto, but they fall short as Texas beats them 6-5. The losing streak is now at 3.
A valiant effort to try to get back in this ball game, but it was trouble right from the outset. What an at-bat by Jock Peterson to lead this game off. Kevin Gausman struggling again in his second start in a row. He is going to have to figure things out, and the starting rotation is going to have to keep trying to figure things out, despite Kevin staying in there and going 6, saving the bullpen a little bit. That's the best story moving forward from a night like tonight.
Patrick Corbin on the mound for the Blue Jays tomorrow night. Nathan Eovaldi for the Rangers. We'll have it for you on Sportsnet 1. Again, the final here in game 1 of this 4-game series. The Rangers hold off the Blue Jays and beat them 6-5. Time now for Sportsnet Central, presented by KFC with Ken and Ivanka.